Hey there, anime fans. Welcome back to AniWatch. Today we're diving into the deep end of the emotional ocean with the top 10 anime that will make you cry. These aren't just your average shows, they're the kind of stories that reach into your soul, squeeze your heart, and leave you with tears streaming down your face, wondering how something so beautiful could hurt so much. Whether it's the heartbreaking love stories, the tragic fates, or the bittersweet endings, these anime will take you on an emotional roller coaster you won't forget. And trust me, you'll want to stick around until the very end, because I've got a personal favorite that's guaranteed to hit you right in the feels. Plus, I'll be sharing some similar anime picks at the end, so you'll have plenty of characters to add to your watch list. Get ready, because this is going to be a journey through the most heart-wrenching, tear-jerking stories that anime has to offer. Starting off our list with number 10, Love Flops, a series that at first glance seems like your typical rom-com, lighthearted, funny, and full of awkward, endearing moments. We follow Asai Kashiwagi, a high school student whose life takes a bizarre turn when a series of strange coincidences leads him to meet 5 girls, each of whom seems to be the perfect match for him. It's all fun and games as Asahi navigates this harem-like scenario, trying to figure out his feelings and make sense of the chaos that suddenly erupted in his life. But here's the kicker: Love Flops isn't just about love and laughter. There's a darkness lurking beneath the surface, one that slowly creeps in and turns everything you thought you knew upside down. The twist, when it comes, is like a punch to the gut, leaving you reeling as the story shifts gears from lighthearted comedy to something much more profound and heartbreaking. The sadness here is in the realization that love isn't always enough, that sometimes, despite our best efforts, things fall apart. Love Flops plays with your emotions, making you laugh one moment and cry the next, until you're left with a bittersweet smile and a tear in your eye. At number 9, we have Cyberpunk Edgerunners. Set in the gritty, neon-soaked streets of Night City, this anime isn't just a feast for the eyes, it's a brutal gut punch of a story that explores the dark side of dreams and ambition. We follow David Martinez, a young man with nothing to lose and everything to gain, who's just trying to survive in a world where the line between human and machine is blurred beyond recognition. David is drawn into the life of an edgerunner, a mercenary navigating the underbelly of Night City, where betrayal is around every corner and death is just another part of the job. What makes Cyberpunk Edgerunners so devastating is the way it portrays David's rise and fall. He starts off with a fire in his heart, determined to make something of himself, to rise above the filth and chaos of the world around him. But as the story progresses, that fire slowly consumes him, leading him down a path of no return. The sadness here is in the inevitability of his fate, in the way Night City chews up and spits out even the most hopeful souls. By the time the final scene plays out, you're left staring at the screen, wondering how it all went so wrong and why it feels so damn right. At number 8, Alice to the Reis no Maboroshi Kuju, a hauntingly beautiful tale set in a world where reality and fantasy blur into something altogether surreal. The story centers around 3 characters: Masamune, a boy trapped in a monotonous town with no future; Mutsumi, his childhood friend; and a mysterious girl named Alice, who turns their world upside down. The 3 of them find themselves caught up in a series of events that defy explanation, as their town is slowly consumed by a factory that produces phantom, strange, otherworldly creatures born from human emotions. What makes Alice to the Reis no Maboroshi Kuju so emotionally powerful is the way it explores the inner turmoil of its characters. Masamune, Mutsumi, and Alice are all struggling with their own pain, their own fears, and as the story unfolds, their emotions take on a life of their own, literally shaping the world around them. Then we have at number 7, Plastic Memories, a futuristic tale that will have you questioning the very nature of love and loss. In a world where androids called Giftias look and feel just like humans, there's a catch: they've got a shelf life. After about 9 years, they start to break down, and it's game over. Enter T. Sakasa, a rookie at Psy Corporation, whose job is to retrieve these soon-to-expire Giftias. His partner, Isla, a Giftia herself, who's on the verge of hitting her expiration date. Here's where it gets brutal. Takasa and Isla start to develop feelings for each other, even though they both know it's a ticking time bomb. Every moment they spend together is tinged with the knowledge that it won't last. And that's where Plastic Memories really shines. It forces you to confront the harsh reality that some things, no matter how much we want to hold on to them, are destined to fade. When the end comes, it's not just sad, it's devastating. You've been with them on this journey, you've seen their love grow, and then it all comes crashing down. The show doesn't just play with your emotions, it annihilates them, leaving you with nothing but memories, plastic, fragile, and all too real. Next, at number 6, we have The Day I Became a God, a story that starts off with a lighthearted, almost whimsical tone, only to pull the rug out from under you when you least expect it. The story follows Yota Narukami, a high school student who meets a mysterious girl named Hina, who claims to be a god and predicts the end of the world in 30 days. At first, it seems like a fun, if a bit quirky, adventure. Yota and Hina go on a series of misadventures, with Hina's divine predictions leading them into all sorts of chaos. But as the days tick down, a darker truth begins to emerge, and the story takes a turn into much more emotional territory. The thing about The Day I Became a God is that it lulls you into a false sense of security with its humor and charm, only to break your heart when you realize what's really at stake. The sadness here isn't just in what happens, but in the way it happens, in the inevitability of it all, in the way Yoda's world is turned upside down, and in the way Hina's true nature is revealed. By the time the end comes, you're left reeling, a mix of tears and disbelief, wondering how a story that started so innocently could end so tragically. Fifth spot goes to Charlotte. Now, at first, it might seem like your typical high school drama with a twist: kids with superpowers trying to navigate life. But don't be fooled. This one has layers. We follow Yu Otosaka, a guy who's been using his ability to take over others' bodies to cruise through life, carefree and a little too confident. He's got this whole bad boy, too cool for school vibe. But then he meets Naotomori, and everything starts to unravel. The thing about Charlotte is that it lulls you into this false sense of security. You're laughing, you're enjoying the ride, and then bam, it hits you with a sucker punch of emotions. Yu's journey goes from lighthearted mischief to gut-wrenching despair. And before you know it, you're in too deep. It's like watching a train wreck in slow motion. You can't look away. And when the inevitable tragedy strikes, it leaves you floored. The sadness here isn't just in what happens, it's in how it happens, in the way Yu's world crumbles piece by piece, leaving you with a hollow feeling that's hard to shake off. Fourth spot goes to Darling in the Franxx X. This one's set in a dystopian future, where kids are literally engineered to fight and die for a world that's as cold and lifeless as it gets. The parasites kids who pilot giant mechs called Franxx don't know anything beyond their duty. But then there's Hero and Zero too. These two are like fire and ice, drawn to each other in a world that doesn't know what to do with love. And man, their relationship is something else. It's passionate, it's intense, but it's also doomed from the start. Darling in the Franxx X is the kind of anime that makes you feel like you're holding your breath the whole time, waiting for the other shoe to drop. Every moment of happiness they find feels like borrowed time, and you just know that the world is going to come crashing down on them. And when it does, it's brutal. The series doesn't just break your heart, it stomps on it, leaving you questioning everything you thought you knew about love, sacrifice, and what it means to be human. Next, at number 3, we have Silent Voice. This isn't just a story, it's a raw, unflinching look at the consequences of bullying, guilt, and the long, painful road to redemption. Shoya Ishida, our protagonist, was once a bully who tormented Shoko Nishimiya, a deaf girl who just wanted to be accepted. Years later, the tables have turned. Shoya is now the outcast, consumed by regret and haunted by the ghosts of his past. The beauty of A Silent Voice lies in its honesty. It doesn't shy away from the darkness, from the harsh realities of how cruel kids can be, and how those wounds linger long after the bullying stops. But at its core, this story is about healing, about finding the courage to face your mistakes and seek forgiveness, even when you feel like you don't deserve it. Every scene is loaded with emotion, from the tentative steps Shoya takes towards making amends, to the heartbreaking moments when Shoko's struggles become too much to bear. It's a journey that's as painful as it is beautiful, and by the end, you'll be left with tears in your eyes and hope in your heart. It's a story that's as much about what's unsaid as what's said, where every glance, every silence is loaded with meaning. The sadness here is quiet, creeping up on you like a shadow, until it's too late to escape. By the end, you're left with a sense of melancholy that's hard to shake, a feeling that lingers long after the final scene fades to black. At number 2, Your Lie in April. Oh man, where do we even start with this one? Kousi Arima is a piano prodigy who's lost his way, trapped in a world of silence after the death of his mother. Enter Kaori Miyazano, a violinist who's all about living life to the fullest, even if it means breaking the rules. She's the light to Kousi's darkness, and for a while it seems like maybe things will get better. But here's the thing, Your Lie in April doesn't play fair. It draws you in with its beautiful music, its stunning animation, and its moments of pure, unfiltered joy. But lurking underneath all that beauty is a sadness so profound, it hits you like a tidal wave. The more you watch, the more you realize that this isn't just a story about music, it's a story about life, about the inevitability of loss, and about how sometimes the most beautiful things are the ones that hurt the most. By the time the final notes are played, you're left a sobbing mess, wondering how something so heartbreaking can also be so incredibly beautiful. Finally, for our number 1 pick goes to I Want to Eat Your Pancreas. And no, it's not some weird cannibal anime. It's a story about life, death, and everything in between. Meet our protagonist, a total loner who couldn't care less about anything, until he finds a diary belonging to the bubbly, full of life Sakura. And here's the kicker, Sakura is dying from a terminal illness, but she's determined to live every day like it's her last. What starts as an awkward friendship turns into something deeper, something that changes them both forever. This anime isn't just sad, it's a masterclass in emotional manipulation. You know from the start that Sakura's time is limited, but you get sucked into their world anyway. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion. You know what's coming, but you can't tear your eyes away. Every interaction between these two is loaded with the knowledge of what's to come, and that's what makes it so damn heartbreaking. When the inevitable happens, it's like a gut punch that knocks the wind out of you. This anime doesn't just make you cry, it makes you feel every single second of the time they have together, and then rips it all away, leaving you an emotional wreck. For my personal favorite, we have Angel Beats, a show that seems like it's here to toy with your emotions. Picture this, you wake up and boom, you're dead. Welcome to the afterlife, where a bunch of misfit kids are stuck in limbo, refusing to move on until they've dealt with their unfinished business. It's like a high school reunion, but instead of reliving glory days, everyone's dealing with past trauma. And the ringleader? Yuri, she's a total badass who's waging war against God or whoever's running this afterlife show. But here's the thing, just when you're laughing at their ridiculous antics, Angel beats sucker punches you with some serious feels. You think you're watching a comedy, then suddenly you're drowning in a sea of tears. Each character has a backstory that's more tragic than the last, and by the time the truth hits you, it's like someone's pulled the rug out from under your feet. The show sets you up for an emotional massacre, and you won't even see it coming. The final moments, they'll break you. But it's a good kind of broken, the kind that makes you appreciate the fragility of life and the beauty in every fleeting moment. As promised, before we wrap things up, I want to share a few more anime that are just as heart-wrenching as the ones we've discussed today. These aren't just shows, they're experiences that will dig deep into your soul and stir up emotions you didn't even know you had. If you're here because you love stories that make you cry, that truly make you feel something, then these picks are for you. Trust me, each one is a powerful journey through love, loss, and the fragility of life. They'll leave you with tears in your eyes, a heavy heart, and a story that stays with you long after the screen fades to black. So, if you're ready to dive even deeper into the world of emotional anime, get those tissues ready, because these are the ones you absolutely can't miss. You won't regret it. And there you have it, our top 10 anime will make you cry. These shows aren't just about sadness, they're about the raw, powerful emotions that remind us of our own humanity. They take us on a journey through love, loss, and everything in between, leaving us with tears in our eyes, but also a deep appreciation for the stories that can touch our hearts so profoundly. I hope you found something here that'll give you that cathartic, soul-cleansing cry we all need sometimes. But before you go, don't forget to check out those similar anime picks I mentioned earlier, shows like Clanad After Story and Ohana the Flower We Saw That Day and Your Name. These are perfect if you're in the mood for more emotional anime that will tug at your heartstrings and stay with you long after the credits roll. Thanks for watching, and if this video moved you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more anime recommendations. Until next time, keep those tissues close, and remember it's okay to cry. See you in the next video.
Close the door.